Welcome to another edition of DHN Crypto. I'm your host as always, Wade Teamer. It's about 8:30 Thursday morning, October 2nd, and I'm here with the latest crypto news that you need to know. If you're new, I've been in the space since 2019. I've researched a boatload of assets, but the main reason I run this show is to share all of that knowledge with you. All I ask in return, you hit that subscribe button for me. In exchange, I do have some gifts for you. If you head on over to the link in our description, the bio site, it'll give you access to the digital library. This is a way for you to learn crypto without all the noise, because that's all I'm simply here to do, is to expose this industry to people who are not aware of it. It's a life-changing opportunity, but you got to have the right knowledge. So head on over to the bio site. As you can see here, this is a few of our digital products. I am developing a new digital product for the fall. So you want to get your hands on that, head on over to the bio site. But like I said, guys, we got the latest crypto news from the space. We're currently in a government shutdown, okay? And I had one question on my mind. How would this impact the crypto space? We're actually moving up in the market. Bitcoin's doing pretty good, up about 3% over the last week or so, maybe closer to 5%. XRP, Stellar just broke 40 cents, as a matter of fact, this morning. So I would say the markets are looking good. However, there are some things we need to be aware of, and we got this article here, courtesy of Binance Square, that'll break it down for us. U.S. government shutdown, what it means for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the crypto market. No matter what you hold, you need to be aware of these, especially with institutional interest in the form of ETFs starting to spread into the altcoins. But let's dive in here, guys. The shutdown is going to halt non-essential federal services and threaten mass layoffs, raising concerns over delayed economic data release. When it comes to crypto, a prolonged shutdown could delay crypto regulation, ETF approvals, and legislative progress, leaving the market exposed to volatility. So what that simply means is any ETFs that are currently on the table, or any crypto related legislation, bills, discussions, votes, things of that nature, for example, the Clarity Act, any process, legal process that they would be going through is going to be halted, because as they describe later in this article, bodies like the SEC, CFTC, they're operating on their skeleton crew, which essentially means ain't nobody in the building, because ain't nobody getting paid. It's completely understandable. I just want the viewers of this channel to have the best understanding of what's going on at all times. Now, to double down on that even further, why the U.S. government was shut down, well, we all know how these things go. Political differences, both sides of the aisle, especially with the tension that the Republicans are stirring up with the Democrats. Not going to get too deep into it, but the specifics, the dispute centers on healthcare funding, with Republicans pushing to cut Medicaid and Democrats demanding protections for the Affordable Care Act and related tax credits. Now, y'all know this ain't a political channel, but I give you this information so that way you understand the context. Now, as far as how the markets have reacted historically, last long-term shutdown we had was 2018. And looking at this chart of impact of government shutdowns on the stock market, I'm seeing more green than red. I don't know about you guys. You take a look. Let me know what you think down in the comments. But historically, these government shutdowns really don't do a lot of damage. They cause a lot of volatility, but when you look back, you really don't see a lot of damage has been done. And typically, once everything is back in working order, I have also observed personally, markets tend to rally after that. So from a price perspective, we're still up in the air, but history tells us we'll be okay. It's this particular portion here, the regulatory delays. These impact decisions that must be made to see the industry go forward. As they describe here, agencies like the SEC, CFTC will halt non-essential operations. delaying progress on crypto rulemaking, ETF approvals, and enforcement actions. Ongoing reviews for crypto ETFs, including Solana and Ethereum-based products, may face setbacks. Legislative work on crypto market structure has already been pushed back. That is the highly anticipated Clarity Act that clears the way for gaming tokens, NFTs, and recently now DPIN. And it also gives us rules of the road for how the rest of these digital assets that we are familiar with can move forward in the market. The projections initially, to my knowledge, were November, late December. Now, depending on how long this shutdown is, we may not see anything or hear anything until January, if not February. So, bad news on that front. However, price action, it's a little bit better. Now, on the other side of that, this did break in the last over the night here. Trump nominates acting FDIC chair to officially head the agency. So Donald is looking to appoint Travis Hill to serve as the FDIC chair for this remaining of the term, which I believe is 5 years. But of course, due to the shutdown, the Senate, I believe, who has to make this decision, they're not going to be meeting to do anything like that. So Trump wants to begin putting in pro-crypto people in positions of power. This is something that he did speak about during his campaign, during the lead up to the election, and, throughout his presidency, throughout the year. He has a boatload of other things on his plate, so I understand why things are taking a bit longer than we expected. But this particular move highlights one of the ramifications of the government shutdown that we're facing and how it can potentially affect crypto. With the administration trying to position pro-crypto players in the right spots, they need regulatory processes to be able to be done in order to get these people where they need to be. They don't want to take any illegal route. You don't want to force people into power, but they want to go about it with due process. This government shutdown is getting in the way. Simply put, guys. I don't know that much about Travis Hill, but Cointelegraph did highlight this little bit about him here. Before assuming his role at the FDIC, Hill issued a statement that the department should offer additional guidance on digital assets and tokenization, and spoke out against allegations of U.S. authorities debanking companies due to their ties to crypto. So that brings in Operation Choke Point. You guys are familiar with that. Me personally, I think there was more to the story than what was majority talked about, but we'll leave that for another discussion, another video. But I did look into his statement and his words. Yeah, if he gets into position, I think we would have a very powerful ally at the FDIC. But this particular, it's the link to this statement. It's right here, guys. Issued the statement. It's up here on the article. But his words encouraging the FDIC to innovate their rules and innovate how they approach digital assets and tokenization, it lines up with what we all believe. We know that these technologies, they're ready now. Okay, they are ready to improve existing services like tokenization, like commodities trading, derivatives, and all of these other advanced financial tools that we're seeing come to blockchain. They're not coming to blockchain for no reason. Now we're seeing people in positions of power and influence beginning to spread that gospel as well. That is going to, in the long term, be a great thing for the adoption of these assets. So take a look into Travis Hill, guys. Seems to be making the right moves when it comes to the space. This government shutdown, we're kind of at a standstill. Like I said, it all depends on what the players in Washington decide to do. So with that, that's it for this morning update. Again, Stay tuned to DHN Crypto throughout the day. We're going to be breaking down the recent activity on Algorand, as well as taking a look at Ripple's work in Africa, guys. There's a huge amount of potential in Africa, and I tell you that all the time. Ripple is getting ready to make a huge leap. With that, don't forget to check out the bio site, ladies and gentlemen. Get your hands on the digital products that'll help you learn crypto without all the noise. With that, y'all know what time it is. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.